You know that feeling when everything just clicks? Your mind is sharp, your mood is steady, your body feels like it's firing on all cylinders. That's not luck, that's what your body is capable of every single day. Now, I've looked into a lot of fish oil supplements, and honestly, most of them are mystery sourced, overprocessed, blasted with heat, and packed with synthetic add-ins. But this one is different. Omega-3 Rejuvenate from Big Bold Health starts with wild Alaskan salmon and cod, sustainably caught from some of the cleanest waters on the planet, and then it's processed at low temperatures to preserve what actually matters. We're talking about real omega-3s, naturally occurring vitamins A and D, and pro-resolving mediators, or PRMs, that help your body balance its own immune response. What does that mean for you? Clearer thinking, more stable mood, and real nature-based support for your heart and immune system. No shortcuts, no synthetic nonsense. And it was developed by Dr. Jeffrey Bland, a true pioneer in the world of complementary health. If you want to feel the difference, go to bigboldhealth.com/Hoffman. That's bigboldhealth.com/Hoffman and use code Hoffman for 20% off site-wide. Once you feel it, you'll know. Welcome back to today's Intelligent Medicine Podcast. It's our weekly Q&A with Leyla, something that I very much look forward to because I get to have a great conversation with my cohort, Leyla Mutin, who's our resident nutritionist, and together we answer your questions. Questions come to questions@drhoffman.net. And I've got to say, I mean, I know that you, for reasons of sanity, don't participate on social media, but people out there, you got a lot of fans. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's nice.
Yeah, people really enjoy your columns and your own podcasts and your contribution here on Q&A with Leyla.
I'm so happy to be of service.
Indeed. Well, you are. And, you know, it's, and I also think there's something also about your direct style of communication. You know, it's really, you encapsulate information in a very understandable way, and I think people relate to that.
I hope so.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Right. All right. So we've got another question, and that has to do with vertebral fracture. Ouch.
Yeah. Michael writes us, Michael's an 83-year-old male who's on a decent diet, exercising for many years, resistance yoga, Tai Chi, all of that. He wants to know, please discuss which would be best for lumbar fractures, vertebroplasty or kyphoplasty? Pros and cons of each.
All right. So let's discuss. So first of all, you know, what is a vertebral fracture and why does it occur? Well, you know, if you jump out of a burning building, you know, from the third floor and you land on your feet, you know, you're liable to get a vertebral compression fracture, you know, even if you're 22 years old. But older adults with osteoporosis of the lumbar spine sometimes develop spontaneous vertebral fractures. The vertebral column, which is basically a set of stacked bones, collapses, and it may be just stepping off a sidewalk, or it may be just a cough or a sneeze, and that is the precipitation of something that can be very painful. And progressive vertebral fractures also cause you to develop kyphosis, which is kind of like that hunchback appearance, bent over appearance.
Yes.
And or scoliosis, but usually a forward bend, which can be debilitating in terms of your ability to walk, and also can actually compress your lungs so that you actually have restrictive lung disease that's just caused by the physical compression of, like, you're all bent over forward. So, you know, we want to, prevent that, but once it happens, what do you do to fix it? And so the idea is that if we can put some kind of cement into the fracture, we can reduce the pain because it's painful, and number one. And number two, also prevent the progressive bending forward so that you don't have as much kyphosis. And so there are a couple of techniques, and they're kind of competing techniques. There's kyphoplasty and vertebroplasty. And I got to say, I'm not the world's expert on this. So, you know, you may want to do some research. There are articles that I saw on this subject which compare the two techniques. It's my impression that kyphoplasty may hold an edge over vertebroplasty. The problem is when some of this glue migrates, yikes, and affects the nerves. It can affect
my gosh.
It can affect the nerves that are radiating from the spine and cause problems with sciatica, or, it happens in the upper spine. It can affect the nerves that go down to the arms and hands. So, it's one of those, unfortunate things that you have to undergo. But I've seen some studies that show that there's not a lot of long-term effectiveness in terms of prevention of subsequent fractures, but there is relief of pain, and there may be a way to prevent the kyphosis from getting worse. And I invite any physicians or health professionals who are involved with this, who are listening to this, to provide their own perspective on that, because we'd love to get some feedback. But it is, it's kind of a way of fixing a nasty problem. And, it's for this 80-something-year-old, we hesitate to recommend procedures for people who are older.
Yeah.
But if you're in pain, this might be a fix, at least a partial amelioration of your back pain symptoms.
Wow. Okay. Michael, here you are.
And by the way, don't hesitate, because the success rate is better when it's done immediately after, within a couple of months after a fracture. So if you wait and wait, the results are less robust.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Michael, thank you for that. Thank you for the thoughtful question. We wish you well. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, we've got one from Ellen. Ellen says, I'm a 76-year-old female. I had surgery back last September due to acid reflux. She had fundoplication surgery after a hiatal hernia.
So let me explain. Fundoplication. What's a hiatal hernia, like other hernias, like an inguinal hernia, where part of your abdominal fat layer and potentially your intestines can actually penetrate through a gap in your groin, or you can have an umbilical hernia around your belly button where some of your abdominal fat and or internal organs can protrude from there. And it's just due to a weakness in a kind of a passageway. And when there is a passageway between the esophagus and the stomach, where it has to traverse the diaphragm. So you have to actually have a hole there, to get past the diaphragm, which moves your lungs. So there's naturally a hole there. The problem occurs when the stomach herniates upwards and pushes through that hole. And then the stomach being highly acidic, the acidic contents of the stomach then go up into the esophagus, burn the esophagus, and cause nausea and burning, and
heartburn
and reflux, and actually sometimes regurgitation. So she had an episode of aspiration?
She did. She said, I aspirated food into the lungs, wound up with a bad lung infection. Ooh. I had IV antibiotics for 2 weeks.
Okay, so excuse me one second, but let me explain. Yeah. So one of the worst things that can happen is when the food contents go up the esophagus and they go down the wrong pipe. And everybody has had this, the food went down the wrong pipe, and you're coughing and choking. But when in aspiration, it's very bad, because the stomach contents, which are not sterile, go into your lungs, and the acidity is burning, but also the non-sterile bacterial content goes into your lungs and can create aspiration pneumonia, which is very devastating and can occur in people with swallowing difficulties. People have neurological disorders, they get that, or older people, people who are hospitalized and they're lying horizontal too long, they'll get aspiration. And this can be your death knell. It's very serious, aspiration pneumonia.
Well, Ellen says, since the surgery, I lost 14 pounds.
There you go.
I'm 5 feet tall, and the gas and bloating is horrible. The only prescription medication I'm on is Synthroid. I had an endoscopy last week, and the doctor said he couldn't complete it because there was still food in there from 5 o'clock the night before.
Mhm.
He told me then that I had gastroparesis, and he wants to put me on domperidone.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, it's an interesting medication. Domperidone. It sounds like Dom Perignon, right?
Yeah,
The champagne.
yeah.
But it's not as desirable as Dom Perignon. Domperidone is actually a medication that is only used occasionally in the United States because it was deemed that it had too many side effects. But there's a kind of a loophole or compassionate basis where you can get it. It's used in Canada, and you can get domperidone for motility. It promotes motility. In other words, when you look at the gastrointestinal tract, a person standing up, there should be an arrow pointing down. That everything should go down, 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 down.
Yes.
When you have gastroparesis, gastro-stomach, paresis sounds like paralysis. It means stomach paralysis. Your stuff ain't moving down. And if it doesn't move down, it's going to float up.
Yeah.
And that's why the food is stuck. And why that is, there was a problem to begin with before you had your fundoplication. What fundoplication does is it kind of is done endoscopically, but it pulls the esophagus back into place and fixes it in place, holds it in place so it doesn't herniate. But as a result, it's kind of unnatural. It may interfere with the downward motion that occurs with swallowing and digestion.
Peristalsis,
and the nerves may be on the fritz. And so the suggestion is to take domperidone.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. She's saying, is there anything else she could take or do about it? Maybe something homeopathic, maybe a supplement, maybe. Oh, my goodness.
Well, what we recommend sometimes, it's weak compared to domperidone, but digestive bitters. Like Swedish bitters tends to stimulate peristalsis, can kind of break up gastroparesis to some extent. Yeah.
Maybe digestive enzymes.
Yeah. But you got to be careful with the digestive enzymes because if they reflux upward, they can burn the esophagus.
That's true because of the HCl. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not just HCl, but even just the presence of the digestive enzymes can irritate the surface of the esophagus if the pills are undigested. So it's
that's a tough one. Okay.
Tough one. There's even sometimes some argument for acupuncture in this, that sometimes it can actually promote kind of reawaken peristalsis. Gastroparesis is treated medically, but this kind of highlights fundoplication is not always a perfect fix for reflux. And I really consider it a last resort that we try to fix reflux and GERD with more natural measures, diet change, and or some of the products that we recommend here.
As well as, all kinds of things to avoid, for example, but she's already had the surgery. So I've even heard of cases where Dr. Hoffman, they had to go back in and fix the fundoplication.
Secondary.
Because the secondary one, maybe that might be an option for Ellen. I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. But wow, that's quite the thing to be going through, especially
and also,
after
it's very debilitating
infection.
because in addition to being uncomfortable, it is also compromising your nutritional intake.
True.
And, people who are older can ill afford serious weight loss, unless you have a lot of fat reserve. And this can lead to frailty and nutritional inadequacy, which can, put you on a slippery slope to other problems. So, we have to address it.
Okay, Ellen, best of luck to you. Keep in touch with us. Let us know how you're doing or if there's any other resolution.
We love follow-ups, and we'd like to hear if there's if that worked out for you and if you're moving in the right direction.
Okay. we've got a question here from Melissa. I've been taking nutritional therapeutics healthy aging, and it seems to be out of stock.
Hmm.
Do you have a recommendation for an alternative product?
Yeah. So here's what I think about healthy aging. Healthy aging is a combination product. It's a multivitamin formula with NT factor. And I think what you can do if you can't get healthy aging, which is kind of your one-stop shop that gives you everything, is just take a multi and then take NT factor separately. So I take the NT factor powder. I put it in my shake, or if I forget to make a shake or I don't have a chance to make a shake, I'll just sprinkle a little bit on like a dessert. When I have, some berries with coconut yogurt, I'll mix in a little bit of NT factor powder. A very small scoop will do. And that way you'll get the benefits of the NT factor, which is, I think, something that helps to support mitochondrial function.
Mm-hmm. All right. There you go, Melissa. Okay.
You know that feeling. You're exhausted, but your brain just won't quit. You're staring at the ceiling, watching the clock, dreading the morning. Here's something that actually helps. It's called Kyolic Specialty Series Sleep Mushrooms Plus. And it's unlike anything you've tried before. This isn't some chemical sleep aid that leaves you foggy and dragging the next day. This is a clean botanical formula built around certified organic reishi mushrooms grown on real farms, not in a lab, combined with valerian root to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, L-theanine to quiet that racing mind, and Kyolic aged garlic extract, one of the most trusted wellness ingredients available for circulation and stress support. It's vegan, non-GMO, no gluten, no dairy, no artificial anything. Just 2 capsules, 2 hours before bed, and you wake up actually rested, not groggy, not out of it, just refreshed. Kyolic Sleep Mushrooms Plus from Wakanaga. Learn more about this and the entire Kyolic Mushrooms Plus line at kyolic.com. That's KYOLIC.com. Look for Kyolic at natural health stores nationwide and online.
We have a question here from Mark. Have you had any success treating anyone with Meibomian Gland Dysfunction or dry eye disease?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for dry eye disease. And, one of them is that there's Meibomian glands are kind of lubricate the eye. And they're actually surgical procedures, just minor surgery to open up the Meibomian glands or put in sometimes a little bit of a shunt to enable them to lubricate the eyes. But that's more the tear ducts. The Meibomian glands are in your eyelids. So I do think that this actually has to do, to some extent, with your diet. So a general dietary cleanup might actually help. I also, in particular, like to recommend omega-3 fatty acids.
Yes.
And especially, there was a negative study about fish oil for dry eye recently, big study. And the problem with the study is that they used a very low dose of fish oil, I think like 1 pill or 2. And they also used a placebo, which is olive oil, which is probably, so you won't see much difference if you take 2 beneficial things.
Yeah.
So
didn't anybody tell them that?
They don't know. It's a poorly designed study.
What a waste of money on that study.
Yeah. So, but this is published in the New England Journal of Medicine, made a big splash, like fish oil doesn't help dry eye. But I think if you take higher doses of fish oil, coupled with DGLA, with GLA, which is gamma-linolenic acid.
Yeah.
That comes from borage oil, or it comes from primrose oil, black currant seed oil. That's a combo that I think is particularly effective for dry eye, in my opinion.
Okay. Another thing is, if you're overdoing caffeine, you're drying out your eyes.
Right. Okay.
Some people, a little dehydration, and they start to feel a little bit dry, gravelly, and all of that. And you want to make sure you're blinking enough. If you're staring at a screen all day, you have to remember to blink. The whole time we're addressing this question, Dr. Hoffman, have you noticed how many times I've blinked? Because I just became aware that I haven't been blinking.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We tend to forget to blink, and and we spend a lot of time on screens, more and more time on screens.
We do.
So, we can blame the Meibomian glands, but there's actually some environmental things that cause us to have an epidemic of dry eye.
Oh, another thing could be medications if they're drying you out.
Oh, yeah.
Antihistamines will dry you out. They might dry out your eyes.
Decongestants, absolutely, too.
Yeah, all of those may be drying you out. So
And actually, many even like blood pressure medication, psychiatric meds, I mean, they can have dry eye as a consequence. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking foods with tannins, whether it's tea or a red wine, a very dry red wine, things that are drying to the mouth, drying to the inside.
Astringent things.
Dry, very astringent things. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that might be something. Try eliminating those foods and see if it helps. Take it easier on your caffeine. Maybe don't have some and see how you feel. And on extraordinarily dry days, maybe you need a humidifier if you live in a dry climate.
Yeah.
Certainly humidity is
the effects
great.
of heat and air conditioning, certainly. You know.
Air conditioning, yeah.
I was driving in my car. Apropos of that, I was driving in my car, and it wasn't cold, but it was like this really soggy weekend where there was so much condensation that my windshield kept fogging up, and so I had the air conditioner on while I had the heater on.
Oh,
So it was to dry the air more than to cool the air.
Yes.
And I noticed, my eyes were bothering me. My eyes are bothering me. Why my eyes are bothering me? And I realized that the air conditioner was directed right at my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like something in my eyes, and I just had dry eye from the air hitting my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Dry air.
Yeah. Dry air.
So anyway, okay. So we just had an interview with an outstanding ophthalmologist, a integrative ophthalmologist, Dr. Rudrani Banik, and you may want to listen to that because we did talk about dry eye, and it's really an epidemic of dry eye, and it has to do, I think, largely with the fact that we're spending more and more time on screens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
people have to notice.
I write with a computer. I actually write with an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
I get a report, at the end of every week, and it says, you spent 7 hours and 53 minutes per day looking at your iPad. It's like, oh my God.
Wow.
But it's, some of it is doom scrolling, and some of it is, playing around with the social media that I manage. And some of it is, I'm researching stuff. So I'm really spending a lot of time on screens.
Sure. A lot of people are. A lot of remote workers. Certainly, I do some remote work. I do a lot of telehealth as well. And I'm always pretty much looking at a screen. It's good to take a break, use your distance vision, blink, 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 blink. Absolutely. Go outside, get some humidity. That's a good thing as well. Okay. Let's see here. We've got actually a question from Lana and Fred. Thank you for taking our question. We have to get new flooring in our place. We live where winters are cold. What are your thoughts and which do you like better? Wool carpeting or hardwood flooring? Okay. Well, two different ideas.
You actually had to make that choice recently because you got a house. I mean, you're building a house. You're building a house.
Yeah, Lana and Fred, let me tell you what we did. My husband and I decided on porcelain tile because we have radiant floor heating. We have a hot water system that goes under that, and that holds that thermal mass better. Stone does. So we get the most benefit from radiant floor heating. Now, if you have allergies or anything like that, you probably want to do a hardwood floor or a tile floor, as I just described, because any kind of carpeting, even wool, right? Not just your polyester or anything, but even wool carpeting, it's a catch for dust. You want to be vigilant either about vacuuming more, changing out your HEPA filters, doing all of that kind of thing. But if you live in a place where the winters are cold or the winters are long, I would say get the tile floor and get some, underfloor heating. That would be the best thing.
I got to say that I just, before the show, I finished vacuuming the apartment. And it's not a big apartment. And I was away for a couple of weeks. And then I, was too lazy to vacuum. And I said, how much dirt can accumulate? The windows were all closed. And, we weren't even in the apartment. But I was amazed because I have one of those vacuum cleaners that has a transparent cylinder it's very actually, you get the feedback, which is great.
Yeah.
It's very gratifying. It's like, oh my God, I was like 3 inches of,
dust bunnies
that were accumulated. And I mean, it's like, enough to choke a horse.
Right.
And so and I have hardwood, except for in the bathroom, I've got a bath mat, which I launder,
that
so
makes sense.
clean it. So I'm not standing on cold tile. I think there's some precautions when you're getting hard surface flooring, is that you want to make sure that your wood flooring is not highly chemically treated.
Yes.
Because it, especially in the beginning, can gas off harmful chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful about that. Then there's the process, but okay, well, what if you polyurethane your floor? You get a beautiful surface, it looks great, but you don't want to move in there too quickly because it's going to gas off. It takes a while. You want to be breathing that. So, take a vacation,
Exactly.
The other consideration is linoleum. Many looks great, but it also can be gassing off chemical residues, and that's a problem.
And so the latest is that vinyl wood-like flooring, right? It's like, it's all in vogue right now, but that can also off gas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I have wood flooring. The problem with the wood flooring is it dents very easily. And then if you spill on it, it warps, because where I have the plants, sometimes we overwater the plants and the water gets in there, and then the planks get,
And I just want to correct something I said. Wood flooring is not amenable to radiant or heat.
No.
You need to have material that, if you're going to dry it and crack it and do all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Stone or tile will be best. Something like that. But the carpet can be a problem, but I would never do wall to wall. As much as it feels good under your feet when you get up on a cold morning to have a rug under your feet, have some little throw rugs and mats and things like that around, So, but you've got to make sure that you're vacuuming it often if you're doing that. But if you do get carpeting, make sure you get the most, the organic fibers. Wool would be better than the
everything
polyester
has chemicals,
or any other material.
By law, they
Everything
have to put flame
chemicals.
retardants in those things.
Exactly.
So, it's a...
If you have young children crawling around on the floor, you probably want to back away from any of that, any of those chemicals as well. So, but when the winters are cold, I know it's nice to feel carpet under the feet. Be wise in your choices with that. Okay. Lana and Fred, thank you very, very much for your question. And I'd like to remind everyone, questions at drhoffman.net. That's questions at drhoffman.net for your questions. We truly appreciate them. And also, don't forget that you could shop hundreds of curated vetted supplements in Dr. Hoffman's full script dispensary. Go to drhoffmanstore.com.
I was pleased to see that we had a very good response to a recent sale where we discounted items from Full Script for our listening audience, and a lot of people picked up on that and stocked up on their supplements.
Yeah, it was a really good sale.
That happened last week.
Yeah, so that's great. I'm so glad to see that so many people took advantage of that. drhoffmanstore.com. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Leyla. I guess we're kind of moving into officially the summer season, although it's not officially summer yet. And it's going to be a busy summer. It's a lot happening. 250th anniversary. A lot of exciting sports action that I'm just going to go Knicks, right? So with apologies to those of you from San Antonio, which is likely to be our, by the time that this drops, it may or may not be decided who our opponent's going to be.
Okay.
But would you believe there's a basketball player on the San Antonio Spurs who is 7'4". He's a phenom, God. And he is extremely fast, limber, and it's not an impediment. You would think that at 7'4" he would be ungainly, but he is a basketball phenom. It's like absolutely astonishing because when he stands next to basketball players, because if you ever been with the basketball team, you feel like a midget with a basketball team.
Yeah,
Well,
tiny.
the guys who are like 6'7", 6'8", these guys are a head shorter than this
Wow.
player for the San Antonio Spurs.
He doesn't have to jump.
He doesn't. He just
He
drops.
doesn't have to jump. He just drops it.
His slam dunk. He could. I actually would like to see a computation of how far he has to jump off the floor to dunk the ball. Probably not very far.
Not far.
Because he could just dunk with just a little step up. It's amazing.
Wow.
Anyway, so enough basketball. Excuse my youthful enthusiasm, but
it's great. It's great.
Recreating my glory days back in college when the Knicks reigned supreme. All right, thanks very much for joining us. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman. Questions at drhoffman.net is the place to send your questions. We're a little behind, but we'll catch up with your questions next week.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Intelligent Medicine Podcast. Thanks, Leyla. I want to thank you for listening to the Intelligent Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast app, and get new episodes automatically downloaded every weekday. And please give us a rating and review. It truly helps new people discover intelligent medicine. The Intelligent Medicine Podcast is for general informational purposes only and does not constitute the practice of medicine, nursing, or other professional healthcare services, including the giving of medical advice, and no doctor-patient relationship is formed. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast is at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice for any medical condition they may have and should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions. Finally, please visit drhoffman.com and discover everything intelligent medicine has to offer, including frequently updated, unbiased health news and fully vetted product and supplement recommendations.
This is Leyla Muden, registered dietitian nutritionist. I maintain a private practice and see patients regularly. If you require a nutrition consult with me but live out of town, there's no need to travel to New York City. I have telephone and telehealth consultations with clients from all over the country. Please visit drhoffman.com for more information. And to set up an appointment, call 212-779-1744. That's 212-779-1744. I look forward to being a collaborator in your healthcare.